here is Don Jr. I mean, he seems to be doing his best Jim Brewer impression at a rally for Representative Matt Gaetz, trying out his stand-up routine. If you were to hire a comic for, I don't know, an event that you were putting on, just think, would you rather have Don Jr. or Jim Brewer? I was actually having this debate internally last night after I saw this clip. Here he is at a rally for Matt Gaetz, desperately trying to make the crowd laugh, talking about how it would actually be a good thing if his dad held on to the nuclear codes.
Donald Trump has the nuclear codes in the linen closet at Mar-a-Lago. I'm like, really? By the way, for the record, I'd say that if Donald Trump actually still had the nuclear codes, it'd probably be good. Our enemies might actually be like, okay, maybe let's not mess with them. Unlike when they look at Joe Biden and they say, you know what, we should attack now.
Oh man. So, like, what is this style of coked out campaigning that he's, I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but that he seems to be patenting here. I don't know, like, how effective this is, right? Because all of this is just, I mean, we are being unfairly attacked, as opposed to this is our vision for what we want in America.
Yeah, the Knowledge Fight guys had a recent episode where Owen Schroyer did stand up, and it's this sort of thing. It's just bravado and waiting for applause lines instead of like jokes.
Yeah, if you say something with emphasis and then you
say
make
something
funny
the libs
face
won't want you to say
after, and you stare at him like he has to get the cockatoo down, and then he could really open for Jim Brewer. Man, like, yeah, that's all it is. But I think it just really falls flat. And I know that there have been attacks leveled at the FBI, violent rhetoric directed at them. But let's be honest, like, that's what they're made to respond to, those kinds of things. It's not good, but it's different than, I don't know, Republicans riling up hate against minority groups, for example. They're very equipped to respond to violent threats, for sure, especially against themselves. But other than those crazies, I just, like, don't see the aggrievement from Donald Trump breaking the law being a galvanizing force for Republicans at the polling booth. Because, I mean, I keep returning to this point that Ryan Cooper made a few weeks ago on the show, which is that in 2016, Hillary Clinton ran on a platform about, or a messaging campaign that was, it's my turn. I'm with her.
Get ready for Hillary.
I'm owed this, right? Yeah. And that's kind of what Donald Trump has reverted to in 2022, ironically, which is that, you know, this was unfairly stolen from me, as opposed to drain the swamp, build the wall, all of those more simple messaging campaigns that made him an effective candidate in 2016. Now it's just these rich guys flailing around and talking about how unfair their lives are. I don't know.
Yeah, if you ran on Make America Great Again the first time, and then now it's like, it's all lost, everything's as bad as it's ever been. It's like, well, you kind of undercut what you said you'd do. Like, why is it so bad?
It's bad because of all the bad people that are still doing the bad things to me now.
I just needed a second term, and this all would have been figured out.
Which makes him fairly, like, indistinguishable from any president running for a second term, which is like, why didn't good things happen? Well, it's because of all these other reasons. So it's an uphill battle to make that case. But when you're still in power, you have the bully pulpit of the president. Trump is out of power. His Twitter has been, he's been banned from Twitter, at least for now. He doesn't really have a great way to communicate with the general population outside of his crazies, and truthing it up on Truth Social. Like, I just, maybe it's wishful thinking on my part, but I
No,
do not see this as an effective attack.
I think it's a problem, and we can get to it, I guess, but I just think like that if I was listening and I was like a media person hearing Donald Trump Jr. say that, I wouldn't like, I don't know how the normal audience member reacts, but if I was like somebody who had been covering for his dad and saying like, oh, he probably had nothing there, you should have just asked politely and he would have gave you the stuff. I'd be worried about what this actually means. Like, oh, wait, did he have actual really stuff that he was retaining? Are you trying to like prepare us for that revelation now?
Well, they've gone from it's like a bunch of different things. Like, well, that was the reason that they said that they were bringing in backpacks and backpacks of evidence, was because I think they know that some of what he had there is going to come out, and so they're bracing for that. But we'll see. I mean, I do actually think that the past few months, even though this guy's Teflon, I do think the past month or so, few months of these investigations has cut Donald Trump's chances of actually winning the Republican nomination down. I still think he's the front runner, and we'll see. Once he gets on that stage and he trash talks, there's no end in sight to how he can appeal to the Republican voter. But yeah.